we got to talk about this Dave thing. I mean, I really like your take too. Maybe he feels like insecure, and
He
this is my
wouldn't be
point.
as mad. He would be able, I think, to let it go if you were like not if you like didn't have it all and you're younger than him.
Well, it's very weird. So I had a mutual friend that my college roommate was. His brother was friends with the guy that works at Barstool, or was roommates with the guy that works at Barstool. So I've known this guy, Ben Mintz, and like he's like this kind of big, fat guy, has like a lazy eye. He's actually a cool guy. I'm not saying anything bad about him, but he's like a character. He's like a Cajun character. If you had to do like Water Boy, right? He's like blah blah blah. Seriously, that's how I describe him. That's how they describe him. And I've considered him a friend. Well, Dave invited me on the podcast and then took me off, then said, "Oh, I don't want to platform this guy. He's too political." It's like, okay, whatever.
So he
Then,
so he first booked you on his podcast and then
yes.
unbooked you. That's how it started.
Well, no, no, no. It started because this is how it totally started. So I had a video in Vegas where I just went and I, said that I lost a lot of
Oh
money
yeah.
because they gave me too much alcohol. Really, not even demonizing.
You were complaining about Vegas sucking you in. It's the singing its
Yeah,
siren song and
and
left you
everybody doing the
penniless.
vaccine on Fremont Street, insinuating everybody's on fentanyl, and then how I slept with a transgender prostitute, not knowing. And they kind of cut me off because I had a whole thing about creating a transgender tracker. But by that time, that was kind of the end of my
Did they
spiel. But
recognize you? Everybody at the Vegas
yeah,
meeting?
yeah. Well, yeah, they knew. They're like, "You're Alex Stein,"
You
and they
can't go
unlawful.
anywhere without fucking getting recognized.
Well, the bit is getting hacky, so I got to change it. Now I got to
Mm,
take it onto the streets. I
okay.
can't keep. I have to do it sporadically. I can't just constantly, just kick it. Kick the horse or whatever the saying is. I don't know the cliche, but
Imagine,
my
Alex, there's a town out there somewhere that's like every meeting they're like waiting and hyped and they're waiting for you to come and you just have never come to that city and then they're getting low self-esteem about it. They're like, "Alex won't come to our town."
Well, Colleyville, a town in Texas, one of the first towns that opened up during the pandemic, they begged me to come. The mayor is a huge Tucker Carlson fan,
Wow.
so yeah, so they reached out to a proxy, to a person that's like local in their politics, and so I went and I spoke, and they all took pictures with me. But back to the point. So the going to the meetings and in the thing in my spiel, I said that I lost a lot of money gambling, and Barstool Sports posted it. It's like, and this they even didn't even post mine. They posted somebody else that screen captured mine and shared it. They got even though mine got 1 million, this other guy's got 1 million too. They took it down after an hour, and I'm like, what the heck? I'm sick of this. They did that one time before with my content. And they said it was because of gambling too, but I think they
Hmm.
realized that I'm political. And so I just tweeted, not even really trying to burn them. I said, it's cute that Barstool Sports, who's owned by Dave Portnoy, who's accused of the most heinous acts possible, is afraid to keep my content up. And really, I even kind of made it clear that he's accused of. I don't necessarily know what happened. There's three sides to every story: his side, the girl side, and the truth. But if you look into
Right.
Dave, you guys can all look this up. You look into Dave sex tape. There's a sex tape of him, and I've had,
Ooh, can we watch
well,
it?
yeah,
Can we
we'll
watch
type
it
in,
right now?
yeah, you can find it. Type in Dave sex tape, and he's choking a girl with a phone cord. It's actually kind of intense. Like I understand kind of rough sex, maybe like wrestling a little,
Is it
but this
because
is
she
like
wouldn't, like, upgrade her phone? Or maybe he was like, "You gotta get rid of this landline."
exactly. That's what he's anti landline
Yeah.
propaganda. But no, but pull it up. Well, don't pull it up on the screen, but you should look at it. It's only like 20 seconds. I think they got leaked. But he's doing a girl in what we'd call the doggy style position while simultaneously using a phone cord.
Is
Uh,
this it?
yes. And then, she's like some,
Viewing
Instagram
progress.
thought, but well, this in the video. I think this is just, talking about it.
This
And
is her
she's pretty.
embracing
She's
it.
cute.
Yeah, she's like,
Of
"This has to
course.
be my whole identity now. Like, this is what I'm known for. I have to embrace this Dave Portnoy 20-second sex tape."
Well, and she
Alright.
does that, and now I can't really find her social medias. I think it's these people, they endorse it at first, and then they realize it's pretty bad. All of a sudden, like you have family members and stuff that see it, and I think
Ugh.
that I couldn't even find her on the internet. And of course, he doubles down on the sex. And listen, I'm not even hating that. He was like, I don't even want to act like I'm not the morality police. I'm the opposite of that. I'm actually very laid back. I'm a libertarian when it comes to a lot of my viewpoints. I'm not even some staunch right wing conservative like he wants to call me. I really consider myself a populist, but that's neither here nor there. So Dave Portnoy, he has a
Isn't that annoying?
reputation.
I got annoyed. I was on Real Ass Podcast doing a pre-tape yesterday, I guess digital. And like Luis Gomez was calling me like right wing. I'm like, I think people who
Yeah, but
don't
Lewis
understand the
is the
nuances of
yeah.
everything are so quick to call you right wing. I'm like, no. He's like, oh, what do you mean? If you would you vote for Trump again? I'm like, just because you vote for Trump doesn't mean you're right wing. I'm like, Trump is a populist, and like I was like about to explain to him what libertarianism is, and he just was like, no, you're getting too political. I'm like, you're a fucking idiot. Like he's great, but like he doesn't understand a lot.
Well, I just did Dave's show, part of the problem, and obviously Dave is very, politically schooled. He knows what the heck's going on, and I don't think Lewis or Big J does as much. But my point being is, I think Lewis. I don't know about Big J. I can't speak for him, but I think Lewis would be anti-big government, anti.
Yeah.
I mean, I think like he would actually have a lot of conservative type views. I'm sure he wants less taxes now that he's in a higher tax bracket. I mean, I just
Right?
don't. I mean, if
Yeah.
he looked into it, it's just because these people think of these social issues like the abortion one becoming a big deal, but people can still get an abortion. That's what bugs me. Is listen, I don't like abortion. I think it's terrible, but people can still go get one. It's a state's right. So if you got
They're
to get on a
acting like
Greyhound
you
bus,
can't go anywhere. They're acting like you gotta do it yourself now.
yeah, you can even get one in Florida, one of the most conservative states. So it's like, come on, go get on a Spirit Airlines flight and go to New York City, and they'll pay for it. Starbucks will give you a credit for it. So other than like kind of like the whatever the social stigma of saying you're right wing or conservative, people don't want to have a part of that, and I get that. But for me, I kind of have to lean into it because I have more conservative values than lefty values, and I'm sure you said this too. I used to be more liberal. I used to be a lot more liberal with my viewpoints, but at the same time, but the left wing and the right wing are in the same bird. They both want to screw us in the butt with no Vaseline.
Yeah. And not take us out to dinner first or anything like that.
No, no. Okay, but back to the point. Back to the point,
Okay.
Dave. So I kind of, and I'm not even really trying to call him out. I'm basically just insinuating that the accusations. I didn't say, "Oh, you're a rapist. You're this." I didn't say anything like that, and I wasn't even insinuating that. But it's kind of weird that he has all these accusations, and like there's even other articles where all these girls on Instagram where, and I mean, I guess I haven't done this, but I could see why somebody do this. He's like, asking girls of age, but like barely legal type girls, college girls, "Hey, I'll fly to New York." There's
Oh,
like leaked
right.
DMs,
There
I'll
were a
put you on
couple
the
of that.
plane. Yeah, and that is what it is. Like he's a celebrity, whatever. I mean, come on. And he sees a pretty girl. He wants something. He sees something he likes. He wants it. Whatever. But
Alex,
the
I
point,
can't wait till you're making enough money where you can fly women out to sexually harass them. Like, that's my
you know,
hope for you.
Chrissy, and I've been able to. A lot of girls have been very more receptive to me now that I have a following. But a girl that likes me,
Really?
well, a
Now that
girl that
you've
likes me
hit
for
okay.
no, a girl that likes me for my following, like a cloud chasing girl, no.
Oh.
I mean, it's just not. I mean, come on. I'm such a loser. Not that I'm saying that I'm actually a loser human being. I'm just such a celeb. It's not not like I would get it. I'm saying I would totally get it if I was Johnny Depp or Brad Pitt or Matt Damon or something. I get it. Or Jim Carrey, some movie star. But the fact that I go to city council meetings and say that my wife's boyfriend got her pregnant, I don't have I don't have a big ego when it comes to that. So if girls throw themselves at me because of that, I don't really like it. And I want what I can't have. I kind of want to chase. You know what I mean? I want a little chase with
Gary
my
says,
lady.
"Alex, get those phone cords ready."
I guess they're looking at it. They're probably looking at the video. All you got to do is type in Dave Portnoy sex tape on Google and then go to videos, and you'll see. I think it's like 19
Can I
seconds.
play it without getting a slap
You
on
could
the
probably play
wrist?
the audio, but do not play the video. No way.
Okay.
Hmm. So the
Yeah.
allegations is that he's like had all this rough sex and called him a liar, but there's like videos of you on the internet having really rough sex. I mean, the choking
Oof.
and the slapping, the spanking. This kind of goes a little. It just seems a little hardcore the way he's doing it, and I'm, a little perverted myself, so it's kind of saying a lot.
But
So
I
Dave,
think that's a good lesson to you, like, your profile's only gonna grow, you're only gonna get more famous unless stop completely stop what you're doing and move away, but, like, I think Dave Portnoy is a good lesson to guys because it's like, if you wanna be successful and a public figure and have money, it's like, you should be even more like conservative and right wing in how you pick your women because like you getting involved with a crazy chick or chicks and like just being willy-nilly with like who you hook up with like that could fuck you so badly. Like if you're working so hard to get this money to get this status, it's like a couple of crazy bitches can tank that for you.
And sex is important. Everybody has like the carnal instinct for sex, but man, I can't tell you. And before I was even well known or anything, I've done bent over backwards to try to get laid, and it's just not. It's very, you know what I mean? And it just doesn't. You shouldn't be a simp. Even though I am a simp, I'm 100% simp. I guess when you're become bigger like that, you will, subvert your morals or your better thinking. You'll just use your second brain, as I say, in a moment of weakness. And so, it's just you got to be extra careful. Okay, so Dave gets mad at me, so I just talk about this, and he's like, you know, fuck you. We have to take this down. We can't joke about gambling. While simultaneously, they have like all these clips, all of his bar stoolies, the guys that work for him, stuff. They're always like showing these degenerate clips of them online gambling, playing like $5,000 a hand. Where I mean, you can find it, and
Wow.
the guy's like, oh man, I better hit it. And then he hits, it, he's like, oh yeah, oh thank God. And like you can almost see they're not even
Like a
excited. They're
drug.
just it is like a drug. And gambling is evil. And I've gambled and I've lost money. I haven't lost like a ton of money. But what happened was is actually you should pull this up. I think it's like in 2014 there's a site called Help a Reporter Out. Put Alex Stein loses money with fantasy football. So this is how deep I was into gambling. Obviously, this story is totally fake, but this woman is like, I'm looking for somebody that's lost money from fantasy football. And so I respond to her, it's like, oh yeah, I've lost almost $100,000. And you're like, Alex, why would you want to say that you lost $100,000 in writing? Well, I use that and I sent it to all these casinos, and I've been comped at so many casinos from this article. Yes,
No
at Caesars.
way.
Yes, yes, yes.
Did you
It
really
really
though, or you just wrote the article?
no, did I really lose the money? No, no. But the Art of
Mhm.
Business Insider or ABC News, it got picked up by a lot. I lost 70K playing fantasy football, which is total BS. But yeah, I would send this to, like literally casino host is what it's called. You can go to any casino's website and they have a list of the hosts. And I'd say, hey, I'm coming there. Usually you have to go now. There's sports betting everywhere, but usually be Vegas because there's sports betting. It's like, oh, I'm going to bed a lot. Da 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 da. Can you comp me a room? And they
How did
would.
you
And
learn
I'm
that trick?
because I'm insane for the Ukraine. What are you talking about?
Wow.
I'm a used car salesman. I got every
That
trick
is
in the
so
book. Come on.
amazing. That's a great I feel like we learned something today.
Yeah, well, I'll
So
tell
if
you
I
this
write
much.
an email to, like, the head of customer relations at the Bellagio and be like, "I just
You do a
lost a
casino
lot."
host. You just Google
Casino
casino
host?
host. They all have LinkedIn's. They're
Okay.
very accessible.
And then complain to them about how much money you've lost, and then they'll be like, "Come have a free room."
Well, it helps if you have an ABC News story about it. But yeah,
Oh,
I
okay.
mean,
Right.
that yeah, that's kind. I would send in this article like I'm not a I'm not a lightweight. I haven't gambled at your casino. They do it on past gambling, but it's like oh I haven't gambled there. I'm switching. I don't like my time at yada yada yada. And dude, for it's nothing for them to give you a free room, especially in Vegas. Like even the Bellagio, is $200 a night or something. Like the 5-star hotels are basically $200 a night. So, and yeah, I talk about how I love the
Mhm.
Dallas Cowboys. This is kind of the beginning of my troll. I've always been a troll, but my point being is I have been in casinos and I have lost $1,000 in a night. I have been overserved, and when I say $1,000, there's been times where I'm up like 2 grand, and then you lose that, and you end up coming out, so you
Yeah.
lose like 3 grand, really theoretically.
Holy shit, you should come gambling next time with Kumia. He,
I
like
would love
he's
to. I would love to gamble with
amazing.
Anthony.
Like,
Yeah,
he
I know.
gave me, like, $1,000. I ended up winning, like, another 1,700 just by, like, listening to him. Just by, like he'll sit at a table and he'll tell everyone at the table what to do, and we'll all win. It's fucking amazing. It's the
It's
most
because
fun
he's
I've
been
ever
playing
had.
blackjack. He's been playing
Yeah.
black. He plays blackjack, right? So he kind of knows. He can kind
He's
of
so
subconsciously
good.
count the cards.
He
Yeah.
can do a
See, I play
master class.
baccarat, which is a little more confusing, but it's kind of like either 50-50, either red or blue. Player or bank. And I don't know. That's just a game I like to play. But regardless, so I've been in the casino. I've been overserved. So when I said this stupid speech, I talk about being overserved. I was actually trying to make a point. Like with all my stuff, I am trying to make a point that I do believe that these casinos take advantage of vulnerable people. And I've heard horror stories. People go to Las Vegas and they come back and they've lost their ass.
Oh,
One of my
yeah.
one of my favorite movies was with Chevy Chase, Vegas Vacation. I don't know if you ever saw that, the
Yep.
family vacation. I mean, that movie was my favorite as a kid, where he stays at the Mirage and he loses everything, but then Rusty, his son, wins it all back. I'm just saying, I love that movie. That's why I think I have a hard on for Las Vegas. But I was trying to call it out and be totally goofy.
2,000 years later.
Oh, wait, we got super off track, Alex. So you were explaining Portnoy had these sort of
Oh,
like saucy, like suspect sexual allegations and like the sex tape, right? And so somebody on the Barstool team inadvertently retweeted you or reposted you at the Vegas City Council meeting talking about like Vegas took advantage of me. I lost all this money. So then what happened next? He just didn't like you and took it down and said it was about gambling.
No, yeah. So they deleted it, and then that was the tweet where I called them out. I was like, "Oh, Barstool Sports won't share my content," and he went insane. He's like, he said, fucking hate Alex Stein, and I'm gonna root for his demise. I mean, just
saw that.
kind
That
of
was
like.
the first time I saw. I was like, what happened?
And then Dan Crenshaw, congressman, retweeted that. Dan Crenshaw retweeted that. You know?
No.
Yeah,
Wouldn't
yeah.
Dan Crenshaw be better than that? Like better than like
No,
retweeting some Twitter drama?
No, I called him Eye Patch McCain. He hates me, and he's really powerful on the local level. And I spoke at this Young Republicans event, and it was packed. 300 people went. I mean, it was a real successful event for them. And he was like, got mad at them. He had like a proxy call and complain, like, "Oh, why would you platform Alex Stein? He's a conspiracy theorist, QAnon proud boy." You know, with all the labels they throw. Even though I love Gavin, I don't have any hate against the Proud Boys, but I'm
What
just
were
saying,
your
they.
three cereals?
For Lucky Charms, Total, and I guess Wheaties. I don't know.
Wow,
I mean,
that's a blast from the past.
what? I need the fiber. What are you talking about,
Total is like
Chrissy?
what's in your house. Like that's what your parents ate,
Yeah, well,
when you
I think it's
estimated name
5
off
cereals. I think it's
cereals,
5.
oh, is it? Okay.
Maybe. So Count Chocula, and then what's another one?
Basic 4.
Basic 4. Oh, Cheerios. Yeah,
Yeah.
Cheerios. I would get hit a few times. But okay, so let me go back to my point. Now Dan Crenshaw's retweeting it, and he doesn't like me either because I'm friends with Marjorie Taylor Greene. Her and I are actually
We
friends.
just
Like,
got swatted last night. Did you
I know
see
she
it?
texted me this morning. She's like, "Alex, I got swatted this morning." She does. She texts
Wow.
everybody. She texts Tucker. She's just she's actually her social skills is why she's in politics. And she just has like that mom vibe. I don't know how to. She's that down to earth vibe. A lot of these politicians are like, "Oh, I'm blah blah blah." Marjorie Taylor Greene is like, "I'm a congresswoman." She doesn't even like it. We were eating at a restaurant and they didn't know who she was. And they kind of took a little bit to seat us. And I was like, "Do you guys get a lot of celebrities in here?" They're like, yeah, we get celebrities all the time. I was like, "Oh, okay. All right." Kind of like trolling her. I was like, "What about politicians? Getting Yeah, sometimes. And she's like laughing. She's like, "Shh, Alex." They didn't even
She's
know.
kind of niche though, because she looks like a kind of like a lot of other like mom types,
I mean, and she actually is very pretty. I didn't realize how pretty she's in good shape. I mean, AOC is the hottest, but that's not
Did
even.
you hit MTG?
Oh, I mean, she's my very good friend, but yes, I mean, if I had to, if she was
There's some
divorced and we're on
emergency.
a desert island, yeah, for sure. Yeah, I think that. Honestly, I keep saying honestly, there's something about a woman in power too that makes her very, very sexy, in my opinion. That she's like a powerful congresswoman, so that she has that going for her too. So yes, I am attracted to her. I think that she's got it going on. Is she an OnlyFans model? No, but that's a good thing. Okay. Okay, so Dan Crenshaw retweets it, and then this just starts this whole thing because a lot of my supporters don't like Dan Crenshaw because I have kind of a mix of the conservative, then I kind of have some libertarians, and I have like the anti-establishment. If then in the conspiracy world, I'm a Jewish Illuminati shill. I mean, say now that I'm getting bigger, I'm starting even the factions now. A lot of people in the conservative movement, he makes the conservatives look bad. He does this, does that. You can't please them all, but regardless, they start teaming up. These people start teaming up against Dave, and they're like, why are you going after him so hard? What did he do? And Dave keeps doubling down. And I just basically shared his tweet of saying he roots for my demise, and I said, "Oh, I bet you wish I was aborted." And then and he invites me on his podcast, and this is why he went on Tucker's show, my biological father. He went on all these Fox News conservative shows during the pandemic because he did do the Barstool whatever pizza fund where he gave some restaurants money, which is also a tax write-off, man. But forget about the business benefit of doing a charity where you get a bunch of donations. He's the best philanthropist ever. So the right-wing people are like, "Oh, come on the show, Dave." And then when Roe versus Wade, got taken down, he went on this.
He had a panic attack.
Yeah, he had it,
like,
and he did one of those where he does it into the phone, Instagram live video and tweets it over. It's like women are under attack and blah 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 blah, and just it's like, okay, well, okay, you probably should, if you really are trying to be apolitical or non-political, just kind of don't talk about it. Don't pick a side. Well, he picked that lane. that's his prerogative. And he's like, oh, Alex hates people. No, I get it. You're pro-choice, and I think even most pro-choice people believe there should be a limit. Like they shouldn't, after the third trimester, there shouldn't. So I get it. People don't have money. I get why somebody would
Yeah.
have an abortion. I can sympathize and empathize with them. I don't think it's right. I don't think it's good. I do think that would be a baby, but I can understand their position, and I don't even hate a person. I know people in college that got abortions, and I'm still friends with them to this day, and I know that they have like a black cloud over them a little bit. You can almost kind of tell. So
Yeah.
I don't have any beef with somebody that's even had an abortion. I really don't. Now, who I do have a beef a little bit with these like abortion protesters, like it's a clump of cells. Like we shouldn't have a culture where people are making TikToks of their abortion. When I was younger, abortion was a dark secret. You didn't tell anybody. It was not
It was
something to be proud
shameful.
of.
Yeah. It was
Yeah.
something you dealt with, like you grieved kind of on your own. And now it's like, who are you kidding, man? To try to make this seem like a thing to be proud of and like to like go out of your way to get them, like to live your life in such a way that you're bragging about getting multiple ones when it's like you have one. It's like you gotta take a hard look at your life. Like, but
Yeah.
it's just this
And
culture of glamorizing selfishness. Um, and yeah, kind of dehumanizing
definitely
babies.
dehumanizing. And forget what the rumors are. I'm not a virgin. I've had sex a few times, and more than a few
What?
times. Yeah, and I haven't got a girl pregnant because I've had to wear a condom, or I've taken the necessary precautions not to do it. So it's like if you can have sex, there's ways to have safe sex. I know accidents happen, but a lot of these people are not even using any precautions and just like having willy-nilly sex and using an abortion as a form of contraceptive and contraception. I just don't think that that's correct. And some of these pro-abortion protesters are just so annoying that I have to give them the annoying back. I have to mock them back. So he goes on the pro-abortion stance, and that makes him lose some support. But he's still the stoolie. He's the $500 million man. So then he invites me on his
Oh, yeah, and he
podcast.
went out of his way to, like, tell you how much money he makes, like, in a tweet. It's just like, ugh,
Yeah.
it's kind of an icky look. Like, "I'll sleep soundly on my 500,000,000 tonight." It's like, ugh, why are you bragging about how much money you
Yeah,
make?
I'll gladly sleep on my $500 million after I said, "Oh, you got humiliated," because I'll gladly sleep on my $500 million. And he's the one that shares it. He is the one that shared the DM, and everybody's suffering right now. Moms can't even afford to fill up their minivan. I mean, people are like, they couldn't be struggling any harder. And this guy that's supposed to appeal to the middle class, to the working man, to the stoolie, the guy, the stuttering John that's sitting at the bar stool having his beer all day. That's who he's trying to. The sports fan, Jimmy Joe sports fan.
Yeah,
It's
he
like,
still comes off he doesn't come off like working class or, like, blue collar. He comes off like kid with a trust fund. Even though I know he, like, built his own business, like, that's just the impression he gives me. Like, "Alright, yeah, I went to college with lots of guys like you. Like, you're
yeah,
good."
and that's funny. So this is what starts it. Then he invites you on his podcast. Then there's like this is from I'm finding this out later. Like the Eddie Barstool, the guy that kind of like hosts his podcast, that kind of runs it. The guy kind of bounces off on the Dave Portnoy show. He sends him the video where I go to the Texas State Capitol, and there's these 18-year-old girls that are sitting there, and they look young. Obviously, 18-year-olds look young, and they're sitting there with their little signs. And I'm just nonchalantly knocking their signs over. I'm not even being rude. I'm just like, you guys, knocking over. I
Yeah,
think it's funny. Yeah, it's just like
tapped
it's not
him.
even a bit. Yeah, it's just
It's
tapping the
cute.
signs. This is the middle, the center of the Texas State Capitol. Like they're being annoying. They're doing a sit-in, so you can't walk. They are taking up space where they're not supposed to be. They're peacefully protesting, so they're allowed to do that. But it is a little annoying if you're visiting. Like there's parts of the Capitol you couldn't take a picture. You couldn't take a picture on the center of the Capitol because these people are occupying that space. So I knock over their thing, and Dave's like, "Oh my God, this guy's the biggest piece of shit ever. What a piece of shit." And that makes everybody's like, well, there's all these people like, well, not really. It's kind of funny. I mean, it's a little cringy, and I
You
get
should have
it.
said, "Dave, it's okay. I flied those women out so that we could do this
Yeah,
together."
yeah. Well, well, my point being is he gets so mad. All of a sudden now he's like, Alex Stein's a right-wing political wing job is what he calls me. So I can't have him on my podcast. Yet he just had like Andrew Tate, which some stuff I like about Andrew Tate, some stuff I don't. There was like a video of Andrew Tate saying that he would get like the webcam models and he would be the one typing on the computer, like the sexual stuff. Because he said the women weren't good at typing. Yeah, you can look at this video. So I think that's
Wow,
kind of
that's
gay. You're like,
fascinating. Yeah, that's a
si-
little bit like a kink. Yeah, like he gets off on like exciting
cyber
other
sexing,
men.
dude. That's why I don't
It's
like
like
any of that.
Obama with this shadow presidency.
Yeah, he's a shadow slut. And the you know what with that thing, it's like I have friends that are predator poachers. Alex Rose and my buddy Cassie's doing it, and I can't do that because I mean they have other people that do it too, where they have to sit and entice the pedophile and like basically cyber sex with the pedophile. I could never do that.
You
That's
have to
why
get into it. Yeah. Ugh.
I
Right,
can't. And
because you can't use a real young kid for that. That's because that's
yeah,
fucking
I
gross.
can't. I can't do that. I mean, I can't. I mean, when I was in like middle school, I remember AOL. We do age, sex, location, and
Oh,
that's the
yeah.
I
That was
stopped doing
fun.
that. Yeah, that was fun, but I stopped doing that as soon as I got to whatever high school or whatever. But okay, so he posts that video. Then he uninvites me. So then I tweet, "You're scared to have me on." So now people are like, "Oh, you are scared. You're anti-free speech. Why wouldn't you have Alex on?" Because I got the DM showing that he invited me, and then he shares his DMs that are like, I got $500 million. And he put this like laughing face emoji where he tweeted it. I said, he said, I sleep gently on my $500 million. And the next thing I said, I go, that you made from getting children addicted to online gambling. And then he's like, boom, I got you, like insinuating that I'm like in some legal battle for saying that. And, I meant like metaphorical, like young people, not maybe some kids when they're under 18, they're getting, advertised to it and they want to do it when they're older. But my point being is like, he built this empire that was a cool media company. And now he's owned by a literal gambling company that he admits
Wow.
that he is owned by, that he's an employee of. That's what he says. He's not necessarily the El Presidente because they're the reason why they took the video down.
Wow.
And he's like doing laughing face emoji, and that's when like Mike Cernovich, all these people got involved because he's being sued for a crypto scam. He's
Oh,
being sued
wow.
for some other stuff. He has some other allegations against him. And that's when the people, like a lot of people on the right, were kind of iffy to be on my side. But once Dave said all this really cringy stuff, they're kind of like, how can I support this elitist
Mm.
asshole? And then on top of that, the next day he comes up with some freaking lame, press release talking about how he's like the last
I
American
saw that.
hero. I mean,
I
you
was
should
like, "Is
pull it
this
up.
a joke?" Yeah, I'm gonna pull it up.
I
That
mean,
is
it's
like,
so
the font on
terrible.
it is so gay too. I was like, the top font, like his stationary font. Let me pull Oh, Lord.
And then
I
look,
made
I just
Dave
look at
short circuit. Yeah, let me pull this up.
Well, and I just pulled up his Twitter just to check 'cause he hadn't been tweeting today because we're kind of in a Twitter war. And he's like, there's a hashtag wealth is trending, and he goes, "Mama, there goes that man." So like he's really leaning into I'm pretentious rich asshole.
Oh, wow. Team Portnoy for immediate release. Our country, this is so crazy. Our country is falling apart. It seems every day we're at each other's throats, screaming our opinions into our own personal echo chamber, looking for validation that we're right and ignoring anyone who stands in our way. I'm going to just like skip to the part where he talks about you. Yeah,
Yeah.
saying some are beginning to call Portnoy the last true American. It's like, are you for real, buddy? Like, how can we take this seriously? While we're not looking for any such praise, we must admit they do have a point. Why? Because he stands for what's right no matter what and never gives into the hive mindset. So this is like prompted by he's feeling triggered like he's a sellout, like he's owned by this larger gambling company. So he's like, "Oh man, I'm so jealous of Alex. Like he's not bought. He's not like bought and sold. He's doesn't answer to anybody." I'm sure that's what he's jealous of. Like
Oh yeah,
you're
I mean
you have more freedom.
he doesn't like it because in one of his tweets he's like, whatever you do, whoever you do it for, like I have to be doing something for somebody
Wow,
else.
because that's
Yeah, yeah,
projection, because that's him, that's
yeah.
his life.
Well,
So here's
this
what he
is him
mentions.
projecting. Well, okay, and
Yep,
then you go to the part where it says Alex Stein
the
failed
right
reality TV star. So yeah,
the
the
right
right
tried
then.
to co-opt Portnoy, even though the three-time beasting survivor has always maintained that he answers to nobody. This is all projection. Now they hate him because he is pro-choice and he has failed. He has failed reality TV stars like Alex Stein and other right-wing Twitter trolls coming for his throat. Does Portnoy yield? Ha! He never yields. He stands strong under the constant unfair attacks. This sounds like it was written by a middle schooler. While everyone else whines and screams, Dave, the last true American, Portnoy helps small businesses, fights the corrupt suits of Wall Street, and runs a billion-dollar company that he built brick by brick. One could make an argument that Portnoy has done more to help out Americans these last few years than Congress has. Meanwhile, fat Jason Whitlock stuffs his face with food. Hopefully, one day our broken country will become fully united again. But until then, maybe we can all just unite behind the heroism and bravery of our last beacon of American hope, David Scott Portnoy. We have no further comment at this time. Oh my God, he should be embarrassed to have posted this.
Yeah, I mean, and I'm all about comedy and humor, but he just looks like he's sad and angry.
Yeah.
He should have actually been funny. Like he could like I
Yes.
did a
Oh, if he
thing
was
kind of.
actually funny, it would be great.
And he can theoretically, he probably could destroy me. I mean, he has a whole media company behind them. Like they could, send a campaign against me. Like there's a lot of issues where he could have easily owned me on, right? I don't necessarily know what they are, but there's like stuff where I wouldn't have a dog in the fight. I don't know. I'm not.
Pizza?
I,
Maybe pizza trivia?
well, I mean, I could have come at him for something different, but because he is, calling me like right wing and saying he won't have me on his podcast because of politics and the fact that he deleted my video. So it's like he's kind of like in the wrong. He's the one that got cucked in this situation. I'm just like the troll that's like, hey, look, why are you guys taking my stuff down? Aren't you like accused of rape? Like you can't have a video of me joking about losing money.
Yeah,
And
they were just hoping you would never point it out, that you would never have commented on it.
And he shouldn't have commented. He said that was his biggest mistake, was commenting on it, because then that, that rallied the troops behind me. And there's people that are going after him that don't even like me. I got to see that. That's the one thing. If you look at his latest podcast episode, they're like, I fucking hate Alex Stein too, but you took the L. I'm like, okay, well, yeah, but I like that. I'll take that. I don't care what is the enemy of my enemy is my friend. So. Yeah, and now I have a Twitter war with Dave Portnoy, and sadly, like I kind of put out a statement, kind of joking, say, "Oh, you're the last American hero," trying to be nice, saying be nice to Dave. Obviously he's like really emotionally shook from this, but it's not gonna end. I mean, I'm gonna be in New York City, Chris. I'm Chrissy. We're going to go freaking to the Barstool Sports headquarters, even if I don't run into him.
Wait.
Even if I don't run into him, I run into some stoolie and they're cussing me out, or I'm cussing them out, or I'm not going to cuss at him, but metaphorically, oh, you guys are cowards. They're going to say, oh, you're a loser, reality star. And then they post this on the internet. This beef, he created a beef that only benefits me as the WWE wrestling heel. I need this. Like they have to feed me. It's what gives me it's like the sun. It gives me my life source. I'm the photosynthesis. He's giving me the photosynthesis to be a troll, to be able to,
right,
have the energy to go after him.
And you're just on your roof sunning your genitals, getting all the energy.
Exactly right. I'm doing the butthole tanning. That's the new thing, or whatever. Perineum tanning is what they call it, I think.
I swear, like I follow 10 Instagram accounts. They all talk about sunning your genitals. I'm like, all right, I guess I have to start doing this. Love you guys. Thank you for the chats. Thank you for the comments. I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye. Bye. All right, love you guys. God, I don't even want to leave. This candle smells so good. I don't want to leave. All right, love you guys. Talk to you soon. Bye. Love you all. Join the Discord. Feet. Love you all. Wow. You guys are awesome. Come and get it. Bye, guys. Bye. Now I'm really leaving. Love you. Bye.